In a world full of noise, sometimes all we need is a story. Welcome to Hopeful and Soul Stories, where every voice matters and every heart finds a home. Sit back, feel the words, and let your soul listen. Emma Baker stared at her phone, thumbs trembling over cracked glass. James, I hate to ask again, but I need $40 for Lily's formula. I get paid Friday. I swear I'll pay you back. She hit send before courage could fail. Then the room exhaled. The tired radiator clicked. The baby monitor breathed its soft static, and Emma slumped into the dip of her threadbare couch. Her checking account showed $2.13. The last bottle had been watered down more than she dared. Pride meant nothing beside a 6-month-old's hunger. 3 miles away, on the top floor of a glass tower, a single buzz cut through a silence usually filled with numbers and deals. Alexander Reed, 42, CEO of Meridian Technologies, glanced at his personal phone. He expected another update about the merger. Instead, he read words that did not belong to him. I think you have the wrong number. I'm not James. On a worn couch, horror washed through Emma's veins. She'd mistyped the last digit. She sat up too fast. I'm so sorry, she typed. Please ignore that. Wrong number. Her face burned with the familiar shame of needing, of failing. Alexander could have set the phone down. He rarely used this number. Almost no one had it. Maybe it was the mention of a baby. Maybe it was yesterday's date, an anniversary he never forgot, no matter how busy he pretended to be. Is your baby going to be okay? He typed, surprising even himself. Emma blinked. A stranger caring? Caution pricked her nerves. We'll manage, she wrote. Sorry to bother you. I could help. Came back almost instantly. No strings attached. She scoffed aloud and typed the same. Smart policy, he replied. I'm Alex. Now I'm not a stranger. What formula does your baby need? She hovered, torn between suspicion and a tiny, aching flicker of hope. Exhaustion made everything blurry. It's on Family Gently's line, she typed at last. Lily has colic. It's the only one that doesn't make her scream. It's expensive. What's your Venmo? He asked. Emma hesitated, then sent it. What do I have to lose? She thought. She could block him later if it got weird. Seconds. A buzz. She looked and gasped. He hadn't sent $40. He'd sent $400. This is too much, she typed, fingers racing. I can't accept this. Consider it an advance on the next few months, he replied. One less thing to worry about. Tears rose, so fast they startled her. She hadn't cried when she'd been laid off. Not when her landlord slid the late notice under the door. Not when her brother moved across the country and her safety net vanished. But kindness from a stranger cracked something open. Thank you, she wrote, because anything more collapsed under the weight of relief. You're welcome, Emma, he replied. Take care of Lily. She froze. She hadn't told him her daughter's name. Hours later, formula and groceries on the counter, dread returned. How does he know? Before she could spiral, morning arrived with another message. Hope you and Lily had a better night, Alex wrote. I have a proposition. Here come the strings, she murmured. Professional, not personal, he typed. I run Meridian Technologies. We need help on a reconciliation project. Your brother James mentioned you're an accountant looking for work. Emma almost dropped the phone. How do you know my brother? How do you know I'm an accountant? Apologies, came the reply. Your number is very close to James Connor's. He works in my HR team. I mentioned the wrong number text. He put 2 and 2 together and sang your praises. A reasonable explanation, still unsettling. Coincidence? Completely coincidence, Alex confirmed. And fortunate. 3-month contract, possibility of permanent placement. Interested in interviewing? She needed money. She needed dignity. I'd need flexibility, she wrote. I have Lily. We offer on-site childcare and flexible hours, he replied. Come tomorrow at 10. Reception will expect you. The building rose like a mirror to the sky. Emma adjusted Lily's carrier and straightened her thrift store blazer. The front desk guard greeted her by name, the elevator opened to a carpeted hush, and Martha, elegant, efficient, led her straight into a corner office that belonged to people who were never short of anything. "He'll be right with you," Martha said kindly. "Water? Coffee?" "Water, please," Emma whispered, lowering Lily onto a soft leather couch. "Baby breath, city glitter, a guitar in the corner." "She looks peaceful," a deep voice said. Emma turned. The man in the doorway had an expensive suit and tired eyes, softened by laugh lines. Alexander Reed offered his hand. "Alex, please." "Mr. Reed, Alex," she corrected herself, rising. "Thank you for seeing me." They sat. Silence held the strangeness of yesterday. "I should explain," he said. "I don't make a habit of sending money to wrong numbers." "And I don't make a habit of accepting it," Emma replied, meeting his gaze. "I'm still not comfortable with how this happened."
"Fair," he said.
"Yesterday was the anniversary of my daughter's death." He glanced toward Lily. "Charlotte. Leukemia. She would have been 8. Air thinned." Emma's hand moved to Lily's carrier. I'm so sorry." "When your message came," he said carefully, "it felt like a chance to help in a small way. Something I couldn't do then." Suspicion loosened.
She asked about the job.
He slid a folder across. 3 months, benefits, a generous rate. "We're approaching a merger. We need clean books, especially on some acquisitions." "Why so generous for temporary work?" she asked. "We pay for quality," he said. "James showed me your resume." Lily fussed. "There's a kitchenette," Alex offered. "More privacy." As Emma warmed a bottle, doubts and hope wrestled again. Back in the office, Alex ended a terse call, something about honoring a promise to keep a division intact. He watched Emma feed her baby with an expression that looked like grief passing through sunlight. They discussed hours and responsibilities. At the end, he added, "Daycare has a wait list. Until there's a spot, you can use the small conference room next to my office. Lily is welcome." "That's unusually accommodating," Emma said. "The work is confidential," he replied. "Fewer eyes."
She shook his hand.
"Yes," she said. "I'll take it." "And Emma," he paused at the door. "The $400 was a gift, not an advance." 3 weeks later, the small conference room was a nest, a portable crib, a playmat, dual monitors, color-coded spreadsheets that sang their quiet, honest music to Emma's trained eye. Patterns emerged where others saw noise. The Thompson acquisition accounts pulsed wrong. "These numbers don't add up," she murmured. Alex appeared, tie loosened, fatigue on his face. "Making progress?" "Some," she said, opening a graph. "Consistent variances, tiny, across multiple accounts. Individually, nothing. Collectively, someone's siphoning." She swallowed. "About 3 million. 18 months. "You're sure?" he asked softly. "You hired me to be," she answered. A muscle in his jaw flickered. "Prepare a full report," he said. "Don't share it. Not even with James." He met her eyes. "Especially not with Vince." "The CFO?" Emma frowned. "Shouldn't he?" "Especially not," Alex repeated. After he left, dread coiled. If not the CFO, then who? The next morning, Emma arrived early. Alex's office was dark. A text, "Emergency board meeting." Finished the report. By noon, certainty hardened. The scheme required deep knowledge of Meridian's controls. At 12:15, a shadow fell across the doorway. Vincent Harmon stepped in, immaculate suit, smile that didn't touch his eyes. "Ms. Baker," he said smoothly. "Settling in?" "Trying to," Emma said, minimizing windows. "I hear you're on a special project," Vincent remarked, gaze drifting to Lily. "Private office, bringing your child to work. Very convenient. Alex must think highly of you." Heat stung her cheeks. "Mr. Reed values efficiency." "Meridian was efficient before you arrived," he replied lightly. "And will be after your temporary role ends." When he left, Emma's hands shook. Her phone rang. "Detective Russo, Financial Crimes Division. We have questions about irregularities at Meridian.
"Can you come in?"
By 3 p.m., Alex returned, color gone from his face. Emma closed the door. "The police called," she blurted. "And Vincent came by, watching everything." "Damn," Alex said, pacing. This is moving faster than I planned. He took a breath. Emma, I need to tell you something, and I need you to trust me. Trust you. The room tilted. What's going on? Did you set me up?
No, he said.
The opposite. He unlocked a drawer and handed her a thick file. You weren't randomly assigned to me by fate after that text. I've been investigating internal theft for months. We needed someone outside existing networks. Someone clean. Your brother mentioned you months ago. When your message arrived, I recognized the chance. I'm working with the FBI. You targeted me, Emma whispered. Lily stirred, as if feeling her mother's hurt. You used my desperation. I gave you a real job you're brilliant at, he said, pain stripping his voice bare. I should have told you sooner. But if I'd put any of this in writing, Vincent might have intercepted it. The door opened abruptly. Martha, rattled for the first time Emma had seen. Alex, board security and police are here. They have a warrant. They're saying you've been embezzling, and her eyes went to Emma. They named Miss Baker as an accomplice. Cold terror punched through Emma.
No.
Alex's expression hardened. Martha. Private elevator. Take Emma and Lily. Safe house. Now. Safe house. Emma echoed. What is this? Vincent knows you found him, Alex said, gripping her shoulders. He's framing us. If you stay, they will separate you from Lily. That decided it. Emma gathered bottles with shaking hands while Martha grabbed files from her desk. At the hidden door behind the bookshelf, Alex hesitated. I'm sorry I wasn't fully honest, he said roughly. But everything else, the way I feel about you and Lily, that's real. He pushed them into the passage and turned back to face the storm alone. The safe house was modest, light-filled, quiet. Martha moved with purpose, stocking formula and diapers from a bag that shouldn't have held so much. Alex planned for contingencies, she said at Emma's look. When the first probe stalled months ago, he knew it would get ugly. You said stalled, Emma noted. Why? Vincent has friends, Martha said. The first investigation found nothing. We needed proof that couldn't be massaged away. She touched Emma's shoulder. Which you found. Emma sank onto the couch, every bone humming. So now I'm hiding like in some thriller while Alex is being arrested for crimes he didn't commit. Alex can handle himself, Martha said, though worry lined her brow. He's been preparing for this moment. Sometime after midnight, Emma's phone lit with an unknown number. Are you safe? Who is this? She typed.
Me came back.
Had to ditch my phone. They seized my devices, but I'm out for now. Vincent's pretending he discovered the theft. We meet the FBI tomorrow at 10. Will you come? She looked at Lily asleep, fists curled like commas, breathing steady. The smart thing would be to run. But running would leave the wolf inside the house for others. And despite everything, Alex had placed himself between her and the worst of it. I'll be there, she typed. The conference room the next morning was plain and windowless. Agent Keller had pen-sharp eyes and calm hands. Emma walked her through the spreadsheets, the variances, the cover-ups, the shell companies. Numbers were Emma's first language. The truth found its voice. This is what we needed, Keller said. Clear, traceable, prosecutable. She looked at Alex. Board meeting at 3? He nodded. They'll try to remove me. Good, Keller said. We'll let them accuse you on the record. Then we present. As they left, Alex pulled Emma aside. If this goes wrong, he said quietly, handing her an envelope, Martha has instructions to get you and Lily out of the country. There's an account in your name. Enough to start over. Emma stared at him. You planned that for me? For you and Lily, he corrected. I promised myself after Charlotte that if I could keep a child safe, I would. She swallowed. It won't come to that. The boardroom at 3 p.m. gleamed with glass and performance. Emma watched from a monitor in the adjacent room as Vincent stood, face arranged into practiced sorrow. It pains me to present these findings, he said. But Meridian has been betrayed by its CEO with aid from an outside accomplice, Emma Baker. On screen, Alex remained steady. Serious allegations, he said evenly. You have proof. The proof is in front of you. Vincent replied, gesturing to folders. No, Alex said softly. The proof is behind this door. Agent Keller opened it. Emma walked in with 2 agents at her side. Vincent's composure cracked for a fractional second. Miss Baker, he said coldly. How convenient. Convenient truth, Emma replied. She laid out the pattern. The timing, the siphon cents that became millions, the reconciliations rewritten with invisible ink, the shell companies linked by beneficial ownership. She spoke for 30 minutes, and with every page, the room's oxygen changed. The pattern begins 3 weeks after Mr. Harmon became CFO, she concluded. And the money flows to entities he controls. Don't. Agent Keller's voice cut across as Vincent's gaze flicked to the door. The building is secured. What happened next burned into Emma's memory like lightning, bright and fragmented. Vincent lunged, metal flashing. Alex moved faster than thought, interposing his body. A shout, a struggle, agents pinning, a line of blood blooming on Alex's sleeve. Alex, Emma cried. It's a scratch, he said through a wince. And a ruined shirt. 3 hours later, statements signed and wounds bandaged, the building exhaled. 2 complicit board members went out in cuffs beside Vincent. The merger would be delayed. The company would survive. Emma sat across from Alex in his office while Lily, newly arrived with Martha, investigated a stuffed elephant on the carpet. So what happens now? Emma asked. Professionally, Alex said, flexing his bandaged arm. Damage control and rebuilding trust. Personally, he held her gaze. That depends on you. On me, she echoed. Your contract has 2 months left, he said. I'd like to offer you a permanent role, head of internal audit, reporting to the board for independence. You saw what others missed or wouldn't see. Meridian needs your integrity. Emma looked at Lily, whose lashes fluttered toward sleep. And Lily? A spot opened in daycare this morning, he said with a small smile. But she's always welcome here. He hesitated, then spoke slowly. Emma, the beginning of this, my not telling you everything wasn't right.
I'm sorry.
But getting to know you, watching you with Lily, that's the most real thing I've felt since I lost Charlotte. Emma's heart moved in her chest like a bird remembering its wings. I need time, she said honestly. This has been a lot. Take all the time you need, he said, meaning it. 6 months is a shape. It holds routines, daycare drop-offs, shared coffees, hard conversations about trust, and easier ones about how the city smells after rain. It holds therapy appointments and board updates and a CEO learning to let other people see the soft places. It holds an audit team led by a young woman who refuses to let small eyes grow into large ones. It holds a toddler who toddles and a man who keeps a flattened photo in his wallet but finally tucks it into a drawer, not to forget, but to make space. At Meridian's holiday party, strings of light turned the atrium to a warm constellation. Emma stood with her team as they were thanked for new safeguards. Lily, wobbly and determined, pinballed between Mama and Alex, giggling at the way her name echoed on 100 kind mouths. Ready, Alex whispered, fingers brushing hers. Emma nodded. The ring on her finger was new and deliberate. They had taken their time. They had told the board first. They had chosen transparency because secrets had already cost them enough. Alex cleared his throat. Before we end the night, he said into the mic, I have joyful news. He looked at Emma and could not help the awe that rose like dawn. We're engaged. Applause lifted. Emma laughed through tears she didn't hide. Later, in their quiet home, she tucked Lily into bed, the new stuffed elephant tucked close. Emma kissed her daughter's forehead and whispered into the warm, small dark. Sometimes the mistakes we think will break us are pointing us exactly where we're meant to be. Across the hall, Alex sat on the edge of the bed, staring at his bandaged arm's faint scar and the photo no longer in his wallet. When Emma slipped beside him, he said, almost to himself, the wrong number saved 2 lives. Emma took his hand. 3, she corrected softly. It saved 3. They turned off the light. Outside, the city hummed, indifferent and infinite. Inside, a baby breathed, a promise held, and the dull ache of old grief softened into something that felt, finally, like home.